वेलकम फ्रेंड्स। आपका स्वागत है खुशामदीद। फिर से स्वागत है आपका एपिसोड नंबर 2 में, जिसमें हम बात करेंगे एक किताब के बारे में जिसका नाम है एमलेस इन बनारस। So this book belongs to the travelogue genre. And what is travelogue genre? A record of the places and experiences of a traveler. That's how it is defined. But I would like to tell you about who was the one guy or a very well-known author of India who is known as the father of travelogue genre in India, or you can say the father of travel literature in India. His name is Rahul Sankritayan. And Rahul Sankritayan wrote a book called Gumakkar Shastra. It's a small book. In this book, he talks about why we should travel and how we should travel. So he talks about the need to travel and then he talks about the means to travel. Very interesting book, very interesting take. In fact, he himself was a very interesting man. So learned, multilingualist. He knew so many languages, so many Indian languages, in fact. He knew Sanskrit, Pali, Hindi, of course, then Tamil, Kannada. He also knew many foreign languages such as Chinese, Mandarin, you can say. He knew Russian. He also knew Sinhalese, which is spoken in Sri Lanka, and maybe many more, and many more dialects as well. He was basically from Eastern UP, but made this entire world his home. He traveled to Russia, he traveled to China, and many times he has traveled to uh, Ladakh and Tibetan region. And that's how he was able to, he talked about traveling, the need to travel and the means to travel. And he has very interesting take on traveling, which he calls as Gumakkari. And he tells that why Gumakkari is सर्वश्रेष्ठ विभूति of this world. I mean दुनिया की सर्वश्रेष्ठ विभूति है. इसलिए he understands that this Gumakkari has made this world. Very rightly said that if people would be stagnant at one place near a source of water like a lake or a river, they would have never brought this world forward. इवन दो आदमी की घुमक्कड़ी ने बहुत बार खून की नदियां बहाई हैं, इसमें संदेह नहीं, बट घुमक्कड़ों से हम हरगिज नहीं चाहेंगे कि वो खून के रास्तों को पकड़े. किंतु अगर घुमक्कड़ों के काफिले न आते जाते तो समस्त मानव जातियां सो जाती और पशु से ऊपर नहीं उठ पाती. ये टेक है राहुल सांकृत्यायन का, which is absolutely right. And let me tell you, he was awarded Sahitya Akademi Award and he was also given Padma Bhushan by Indian government in 1963, I believe. Yeah. So, and one of his book, Volga Se Ganga, is one of the most famous book on traveling and the migration. So here he traces the migration from Eurasia region, from near the area near the river called Volga to Himalayan region and sub-Himalayan region, as well as the Gangetic plains in India. Very interesting book. I just wanted to give this background to you guys. If you are interested, you can pick up both this book, Volga Se Ganga and Gumakkar Shastra, and read about his travelogues of this extraordinary writer and scholar. So let's go to the book which we have in hand today, and it's Aimless in Banaras. Again, a travelogue, as I explained, it is written by Vishwanath Ghosh. Vishwanath Ghosh is a journalist, and I think currently he's based out of Chennai. This book was first published in 2019 December. And let me make a disclaimer here that in no way I am connected to the author, and in no way I have anything uh, any interest in promoting this book apart from the fact that I like this book. And why I like this book, I would take you to a backstory that I stumbled upon his first book called Chai Chai. Very interesting take on railway stations of India. So in this book, he travels across India and going to some prominent station and specifically choosing those stations which merge the various railway zones of India, such as Mughal Sarai. What is the world outside these stations? So, for example, these stations would be not so, I mean, there won't be a uh, large city near this railway station, but railway station itself railway lines. So that's how I generated my interest in Vishwanath Ghosh, and he has written other books uh, in same genre, which is travelogue genre. And his second book, Tamarind City, he talks about Chennai, his professional home where he has spent many years. Then he has written another book, Longing, Belonging, and Outsider at Home in Calcutta. So here he talks about Calcutta. And then another book, Gazing at Neighbors. Here he travels along the line of uh, partition between India and Pakistan. This is the book I am currently reading. I have already read Chai Chai. I have already read Tamarind City. Longing, Belonging, and Outsider at Home in Calcutta I have not read. So that book I'll complete after Gazing at Neighbors. But I'm so interested in this author that I thought that Aimless in Banaras, which is relatively a new book, I should review it and bring it to you guys. Grab your copy if you want. If you find it, whatever I'm going to present is interesting for you, go grab it. So let's move forward. Let me talk more about this book. Uh, a very interesting paragraph from his book where he talks about the people of Banaras. So the people of Banaras, and I mean those living by the river, are one of the happiest people on earth, unhurried and unworried, living and letting live, helping themselves to a small dose of bhang or cannabis every evening to celebrate the extension of their existence on this planet by one more day. And they come across as sages who have answers to life's square puzzles. So that is his take on people of Banaras. Always happy, which is might be induced by bhang. I don't know about it, but my take on Banaras is also similar. I have been to Banaras a few times and I have spent time near Asighat, and I can say this is the 100% correct account of people of Banaras. Always happy, always not worrying about what is going on, and they are in their own world, taking each day as it comes. And that has been the approach of Vishwanath Ghosh as well in his travelogues. So uh, he talks to people. As much as he tries to understand the place and the things of that particular place, that much he talks to people as well and trying to get a sense of history from prominent people, from ordinary people. So he might be interacting with an author, and at the same time he might be interacting with the reception guy or the front desk guy sitting in his hotel or lodge, or he might be having a peg of whiskey with one of the taxi drivers of his, and getting a sense of history from that particular person. And that is what makes this book interesting, or other books of Vishwanath Ghosh very interesting. So good take on Banaras, and uh, I enjoyed reading it. I think I could not complete it in one sitting, but I did complete it in two sittings, and that says about a travelogue. It holds you, and it holds you that you want to complete the anecdotes, the sense of history, and the very personal story the author is able to generate from people is something which is fascinating in across his books, and Aimless in Banaras is not an exception. I will give you some snippets from his book which I found very interesting. There are many of it. In fact, I must have highlighted 40 of snippets in this book, but I'll give you select few. So he also happened to meet one of very interesting writers, Sri Kashinath Singh, who has written a very famous book called Kashi Ka Assi. and there he talks about the people of Kashi. Very interesting. You should, if you read Hindi, definitely read this book. And this snippet, Kashi ka 80, is जो मजा बनारस में, ना पेरिस में, ना फारस में. Very interesting take. Another snippet where Vishwanath Ghosh talks about the god of Banaras, that is Shiva. His take on this god is the rock star of a god who makes vices look like virtues, and who is as comfortable dwelling atop a pristine mountain as in an ash-laden cremation ground. So this fascination of Banaras you will find in all the books about Shiva and the associated uh, death. So Shiva is the god of destruction, and Banaras is also very famous for its ghats where last rites of people happen, such as Manikarnika Ghat and Harishchandra Ghat, where the pyres of uh, cremation never dies down, always burning. So yeah, so that is definitely covered in this book. Moving on, his thought on this is cleanse your thoughts, cleanse your actions, and you won't need to go to a temple. Very aptly said. Let's look at some more snippets in this book. So why we come to Banaras? So people always say that Ganga में एक डुबकी लगा लो और सारे पाप धुल जाएंगे. And on that he writes, how convenient. You commit a sin and then wash it away. End of guilt. Yeah. So sarcastic at the same time, but how true that people think so naively that they will come to Ganga and Ganga will wash away all their sins. Each to their own. So if people believe that, let them believe that. If you don't believe it, don't believe it. But that's how it goes, and that's the importance of Banaras, the Ganga as well. Then is here that anyone who is born going to die is a certainty, but when exactly one is going to die, not even the most accomplished of doctors can predict. And from where this snippet has come, there is this I forget the name of this bhavan, which is for the last moments of people. So people come and stay in that particular dharmshala, waiting for their death. But then nobody can predict the death. So there is a time limit how many days people can stay there. If they don't die in that particular time limit, they have to go out, and someone else who is waiting in the queue will take that place. So these are interesting facets of Banaras which is covered in this book. Now he talks about two Banaras. In the first Banaras, if Shiva were to make public appearance, people would instantly fall at his feet and beg for miracles. In the second, they would invite him to the nearest tea stall and ask him to share some of his wisdom. And talking about the tea stall, I think it is Pappu Ka tea stall, which is very famous in Kashi Ka 80 book written by Kashinath Singh. And this tea stall is a real tea stall, happens to be in 80 Ghat area of Banaras. And you'll see in the evening that people taking small doses of bhang or cannabis there, and then engaging in animated discussions over politics, music, and culture. Very interesting book. Then I'd suggest Kashi Ka 80. Very interesting take on how people take politics in Banaras and how they take the culture. Another book is by Diana L. Ek, is Banaras City of Lights, one of the most famous books. And in fact, Vishwanath Ghosh, when he visits one of the bookstalls on 80 Ghat, he finds that this book is the hot selling book, and he wishes that his take on Banaras never lies in dust and at least gets some achievement of what this book Banaras City of Lights has got. Another is Banaras Walks Through India's Sacred City. So this is another interesting book on Banaras. And a very different take is Tawaif Nama. This book I have read Tawaifnama by Saba Devan, where she traces the origin of these Tawaif families in Banaras and in detail has given life account of these Tawaifs who were quite expert on singing and performance, and they traveled across India for their performances, and many of the genre of music, semi-classical music, has come from Banaras. In fact, Banaras ki Thumri is so famous, and that is well covered in this book called Tawaifnama. So that's in this episode, friends. Keep in touch and do follow me on Twitter at Raj Ragir, and you can also get in touch with me on Goodreads on the handle displayed here. Thank you very much for your time.